Well, welcome back to week 8 of horse training with the old dude. This is Bruce. I am the old dude. Enjoy being the old dude. Sometimes old has its privileges and sometimes it doesn't. We've been working with Blue, who's a wild horse who is very reactive. It just has taken time to go through every step of the training. We've been working on blankets, getting prepared to saddle. So today my goal is finally let's put the saddle on him and start moving him with the saddle. It's taken him, almost 3 or 4 days, and if you watch through some of these episodes to get him to this point. He's really comfortable, more comfortable now with the blanket. I can do what I want. Still not real comfortable with the saddle, but I've had it up, but we've never actually cinched it. So my goal today is get him out here. Let's get this saddle cinched. Let's get him moving with the saddle on. So, in my true fashion, I got my tunes playing in the background, a little wolf mother going on this morning, and he'll still have some issues here. But he's getting better about letting me put that saddle on. So now that I can put it on him a little bit more, and he will get excited because he is reactive. I let it sit there. You see him relax after I take it off. That shows me he's still pretty hot to the saddle, even though we've been doing this for 3 or 4 days. I've spent a lot of time on him. There he goes. He's getting excited. You saw that in his last ears. He wasn't ready for it again. But I got to keep pushing him because if I wait for him, it just won't happen. So he's the type of horse you got to be a little bit aggressive with, but you can't go too far, or you end up with the train wreck. And once you get a train wreck going, they're hard to correct. So I'm yelling at him. I'm having him hold still. Now he's holding still. I'm going to approach and retreat again and just keep pushing it. Oh, and there's my neighborhood friendly cats. They're always coming over on my cars. I won't bitch about that today. That's my pet peeve with those cats. See him get excited. See him get excited. Just stay safe. I'm going to get after him. I'm going to let him know that I didn't like that. I'm going to make him stand still.
Huh? Sure.
My wife's over there laughing at me and wanting to know if my son wants to come over. And I'd love to have him, and he'll show up here in a bit. So, approach and retreat, approach and retreat. Bill doesn't want that saddle after 4 days. Normally I can get a saddle on and they're done with it in a couple hours. Not Blue. He's very challenging. So I'm going to go back to my old faithful. You'll see a lot. Get my bag, get that energy. I've been doing this over 2 weeks with him, and he just does not want to settle down. But he's still come a long way. Because if you remember at the beginning, he wouldn't even let you pet him or touch him. But it's every new step. He takes the full 3, 4, 5 days, and sometimes a couple weeks until you can move on with the concept. I don't know who had him before the gal that has him now, but boy, they did a number on him. I got what I asked for. I advertised for a wild thing, and boy, I got one. So he's more comfortable with the blanket now, so I'm going to go back and start over with the blanket. But you see how he's pretty comfortable with the blanket, but every now and then he'll react. So the big key is just keep doing things over and over. Dang, there goes my phone. That is out of warning center. My warranty's going to run out of my... I get so sick of these junk emails. See, I came back with the blanket now, and he doesn't even want the blanket. That's how he gets himself worked up. So I got to go back and remind him. I got to work every day. Oh, he's challenging. Now I'm going to rub it away. He is tough. Don't get me wrong, and you haven't seen the worst of him. Unfortunately, his big temper tantrums happened during the night when I wasn't videotaping during the middle of the week, but he is challenging. And he's going to take a lot of love throughout his career in life. He's just going to be one of those that you've got to put the time in. I think all horses can get there. It's just how much time you want to put in each horse. And I wanted to see how much time it'd take me to take a horse this reactive, this wild, this hot, and get him to calm down. But I'll know he'll do it because, if I'm not on the blankets now, if I'm not on the saddle now, if I just go out and do, yielding hike, forequarters, back quarters, touching him, lifting his feet, he'll allow me to do that where he was just this hot all through those parts too. So they get there, but prepare to put the work in. Now I'm going to go to a longer blanket. What do I get this blanket for? It can slap him on the backside like a saddle does, where the spurs come down, where the cinch comes down. He hasn't seen it, so I'm going to approach and retreat. I'm going to stretch it out, and I'm going to get where I can try to slap his backside. A lot of horses don't like that slap on the backside. So I'm going to put it on first, let it sit there, let him know it's not going to harm him. That's pretty good for him on an object he has not seen. This horse, if it's a new object, a new color, he gets crazy. So let's just work the blanket for a little bit. Something new. Approach, retreat. He did good, so I take the pressure off. Great winter day. Gorgeous out there. I just love these winter days. This winter's been awful mild for us. It's too mild. Been a little scary. But that's given me the opportunity to work this horse. So now I'm going to flap it, put a little energy into it. That blanket doesn't seem to be affecting him too bad. Take it away. Little GNR going on in the background while I just sit here and work the blanket. Approach and retreat, approach and retreat. Sensitize. That's the whole key, is going slow, going at the pace the horse needs. Now I'm going to rub it away, desensitize. So every time you sensitize, desensitize, right? Now I'm letting it slap him a little bit more. He's doing really well for him. Now let's go back to the saddle. He had still having a little problem with this. You see him already moving. So what am I going to do? Go sensitize. Go up front first, not just throw it on his back. Then a retreat. Come back a little bit later. I'm still working on it. Set it back up there. Now I don't have the stirrups going down his side yet. I'm just letting this. I got the stirrups back through the saddle, so the cinch and everything's on my side. I don't want anything going down the back side. He's not ready for objects on two sides yet, but we'll work on that today. Uh, and that's a battle I'm going to have with this horse all the way through. Is he's getting better on one side or the other, but when he has a combination to have to think with both brains on both sides, he really struggles. Has the reactiveness in him. Rub it away. Just be kind. Try to get him to relax while it's sitting on his back. That's all I'm doing here is trying to get him to relax while it's sitting on his back. He's nervous as can be because that's sitting on his back this long. I got to add a little at a time. So just sit back, listen to your tunes, relax, forget about all the politics in the world, all the insanity. Now he sat there really good for a while, so I took it back off. Gonna go back to the blanket here a little bit. Switch it up a little bit, make his brain keep changing channels. Make his brain. What am I doing this for? I'm getting him ready to slap that other side with the stirrup. See that? It hit the fence. See how he moved? I knew that, so I got to get that slapping because I know that stirrup's going to slap that side. That's why I'm using this blanket. The biggest hurdle I have with this horse through this process is having him think of me on one side and motion on the other side. He really struggles with that, and that's going to be a big issue. I can tell you coming down the road to ride this horse because you're in his blind spot. You got things going on both sides of his body at the same time, and it is going to be a major challenge to work through that with this horse. Come back with the saddle, put it back up. Rub it away. See his ears pinned back a little bit. He's still awful nervous. I can tell he's nervous. I'm just going to have to sit there and hold it. Hope he relaxes. But at least it's on his back without him kicking and jumping, so that's a start for him. Now I'm going to go desensitize. Now you see him relax, his head comes down. So you can tell he's getting really comfortable with me. He's still not comfortable even after 8 weeks here. He's still not comfortable with objects. So I'm going to go back to the blanket. Yeah, if you got to stand on it, stay on something 4 or 5, 6, 7 days, that's what I got to do with this horse. That's what you got to do. It's discouraging. So if you get discouraged, don't get discouraged. What I want you to do is look back and see how far they've actually come. I mean, this horse for him has come a long ways. He's really, in his world, is doing well. And if you want to try to compare horses to other horses, uh, you'll get discouraged. But that's what it takes. See him get antsy. He sees that saddle coming. He's already starting to walk. So I put it back up. He's getting a little bit better with that, but he'll come and go. They get worse before they get better. Now I notice I'm getting more aggressive. I push the stirrup over a little bit farther. Not all the way, but more on that side. Still hooked up, I believe, on the hook. But I want more objects hanging off that side now. Now I'm going to rub it away while he's nervous with a little bit more hanging across him. See him nervous, see him jumping, see him wiggling. That's bothering him because lots going on in his brain right now. That stirrup's hanging over too far for him on that other side. Check, see where the cinch is at, see where everything's at. Knowing it's hooked up, I'll come back. I'm going to go rub it away. See how he's relaxed now, and he's just fine right now. That shows you the difference. Where before I couldn't rub anything away. Now I'm going to unhook the cinch, put it back up there. Now you see me sliding the cinch down for the first time. You saw him jump. So the cinch and the stirrup fully went down the other side. Got hooked. It got a little bit hooked. It's not down where I want it, but I was hoping it would drop when I pushed it. But it's still making him nervous, so I got to rub it away. Go back to the blanket. That was less pressure for him, so I'm going back to something that's less pressure. Got to reduce the pressure sometimes. Still get him ready for more slapping on that side. He's not jumping as bad when it's slapping. Put it back up there. Slide the stirrup over a little bit farther. There it comes down. Stirrup came down. Comes cinch down a little bit farther. It's not all the way down. Get him used to things wrapping around him. That's a new feeling. That's a claustrophobic feeling to him. Something's gripping him on both sides. Now this is my air right here. I come around to unhook it all the way and untangle it. Um, I should stay on this side because he's not ready for that yet. He's acting a little more relaxed. I'm still sitting there. Tried to rub it away, make him calm, wiggle a little bit, get him used to some movement back there with it. Trying to rub it away, make him relax. He's doing okay, but his ears are pinned back, so I know he's not ready to move on. See those pinned ears? So I'm trying to rub it away, get him to relax more, get him more comfortable. So I'm just waiting and taking my time. Now here's the big mistake. He's not ready for me on this side. I shouldn't have come over there to unstraighten him. He's not used to it, so now I got to get after him and saddle. So I'm teaching him that if he moves, he can get rid of that saddle. So that was my mistake. I should have had the cinch and everything sliding down like it should have been, so I could do it all from one side. So now I got to go back and correct the mistake I just made. So I'm going to be a little more aggressive here with the blanket. Try to correct and fix what I just did wrong. So now I got to check him to see after that, after throwing the saddle, if he'll hold still, if I taught him he can do it, and how far back I had to backtrack. So he's getting antsy. I got to tell him to whoa, whoa. I rock the saddle. He's getting antsy. He's pinned. He's tight. That's what happens when you make a mistake. You can work through them. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We push too fast, it's better to go too slow than too fast in my mind. I try to rub it away, get him calm with me with the saddle again. My goal today is get this saddle on. A little Garth going on now. I love to sing out there. I can't sing worth a darn. I was the only kid you'll ever heard of that gets kicked out of the primary choir at church because they can't sing. We used to laugh at the kids that couldn't sing, and that was the highlight of my life as a parent or adult. But evidently, in my ward, um, if you can't sing as a kid, you're given a speaking part. And I was so excited to get up there and sing my little heart out. And they're like, "No, that's not where you belong." I'm like, "I know it's where I belong." No, they told me I had more of a speaking voice, so I could only do a speaking part. So please don't listen to me sing. I apologize ahead of time, but I love to sing, and I love to use the wrong words, even in church. Yeah, we all did that. All right, he stood there long enough. He's still not relaxed there. You see him relax instantly. Took it off, so now I'm going to unhook the cinch again, get it ready so it'll flop down on him. Extend it the full distance, pull it back over the saddle. I'm just not going to run up there and throw it on like you normally do saddle. I'm going to put it on him and I'm going to slide the cinch and the stirrup down that side. I want to been a almost a week trying to get him to this point where he'll take a saddle. That's how slow he is without a train wreck. There comes the cinch. Made him awful nervous, but now it's hanging full distance. To him, that extra inch means a whole lot, or extra 2 inches. It's a whole different hair. I'm going to check, see how it's hanging, how it's fitting on him. Come around, look from this side. Make sure it's straight. Wiggle it. I'm looking for a reaction, how mad he's going to get. He's done pretty good with it, so I took it back off. Now I'm just going to go approach his nose. I haven't done that for a while and retreat, even though he's had it on there. That's the desensitizing. But see how anxious he is already. He just had it on. Gotta go at his speed. Don't get in a big hurry. If I don't get a solid foundation here, it just leads to problems later on. You're going to be up in the mountains and you're going to have a saddling issue. You're going to be up in the mountains, you're going to have a bridling issue. You're going to be up in the mountains, or you're going to be when you least want it, and you're going to have an issue. And he's going to flash back to these days. It's how time you put in on your groundwork. Now that was good. You notice it rattled the side of uh, the rail, made a big noise. Now I'm just going to pull the cinch a little tight on his belly and release. Pull it tight, release. This is his first time he's ever felt any pressure underneath his chest. Now I don't know if they bucked on him and had a bucking saddle on there, as wild as he is. I heard they might have, but I want to see how he reacts to that. So I'm just pressure release, pressure release, pressure release. He's doing really good with that, so I'm going to take it away. Huge step for him. I could have just tightened that saddle up right there on him. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to just go quick. I don't want to just all of a sudden rip that cinch tight. Make him cinchy, make him jump, make more accents, make him throw the saddle. I want when I put that cinch on tight that I got it, have time to get it on good enough so he can't get the saddle rolled under his belly and have a train wreck. Here comes my son. So this is Chase. He's my son coming out to help me today. Check it out. I really appreciate this. He doesn't spend a lot of time with horses, but he wanted to learn a little bit more today, so he come out to check it out and see where we're at on this horse. He's been watching me do it. So this is a new person. So what I want him to do is approach and retreat for a while. See how anxious he is? He's not comfortable with him. He's got a hat. It's red. He's different look. So he's snorting at him. I'm just having him go up and rub it away and just desensitize to him because everybody's different. And this horse has only been with me out here. Nobody else has been in the pen with him. So he's telling him he likes him. Blue says okay. He's lowering his head to him. And so I want whoever stranger comes to him, or the owner, I want him to react the same way with them that he does with me.
He's been a trainer. I mean, every little step, every little inch of his body.
Telling my son he has been a train wreck. Every little step, every little action, he's been a challenge. Explaining the history of the horse to him a little bit more. Now we're still working on the saddle today, right? Have him back up because you know this horse is reactive and will run this way. Oh, sorry, girls. Chase is taken. He's got a girlfriend. Didn't for years. He was available. Now he'll love me for that. Put the saddle on. You see I drop the cinch again, drop the stirrup again. He's getting more comfortable with that. Pulling it tight and releasing it, pulling it tight and releasing it over there. Sorry you can't see. I'm not a photographer. I don't know how to do this interweb.
I could buckle.
I'm lucky to get up on this inner tube for you. Hope you enjoy them. If not, that's fine too. I'm just doing it for those who really want to really see the steps you go through. Those who want to learn. All those fancy videos where they do this in 2 minutes and don't show you all the hard work and it looks so easy. Now while the saddle's on, I'm just having him give him a treat. Now we're letting him relax and eat a little bit with the saddle, just sitting on his back. I do like to use rewards, and he's getting where he likes the grain. I do like to spoil horses.
Jumpy, aren't you? I walked up to him. What are you doing?
Well, he was eating, and I walked up. He jumped. That's all new to him. While somebody's at one end and somebody's on the side to him, that's all new.
With the halter hit, the head is so tight, it cut the blood circulation off under his lip.
He still has a lower lip issue. It's getting better, but that lip was damaged from a halter. He has a hard time really eating. He kind of slobbers a little bit, but glad to help him. Now I'm working on his head, working him to lower his head. He's still having a hard time. He wants to all keep that head up. That's scary to him to have a head down. So I'm right behind the pole. I pull and I squeeze right behind I push on his head, and then I start to squeeze, and then I dig while I'm pulling down on the halter. I want him to be able to lower that head, and I keep working on that in between things. Put the saddle back up on here. How many times have I put this saddle on him? I must have been doing this, 50, 60 times, and I still haven't even buckled it. Pull it tight. Release. 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 Rub it away. I'm holding it up there against him. He's doing really well. So I buckled it. Do it. Take it back off. All I did is pull the rear cinch. He hadn't felt the rear cinch up there, so I guess I didn't buckle. I just pulled the rear cinch up. He hasn't felt the pressure of the rear cinch. I've been doing the pressure of the front, so now I did the front cinch and the rear cinch just to put pressure on the front and the back of him at the same time. A horse that hasn't had a rear cinch, you've only been riding a front cinch, and you put a rear cinch on, that can throw him off. You can have a train wreck. So I like to train them with both the front and the rear because I don't know what you're going to use, what anybody's going to use, or whoever owns a horse is going to use. So I try to get everything done. Now I'm just going to rub the day away. It's getting dark. I didn't get the saddle on him all the way like I wanted, but I did pretty well. It's taken quite a bit of time. So now we're just going back to this ending the day with desensitizing him. I just go through my normal drills: rub, 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 desensitize. This is when I get back to flexing them again. Flex them, go through flexing, go with yielding the rear end. Hindquarters, go with yielding the forequarters, lifting their feet. Okay, next day I'm coming back out here and seeing what he remembered from the last 5 days, how he's doing today. See if he's going to let me put the saddle on. I didn't bring the blanket out, you see. I'm going right to the saddle, and sure enough, he doesn't remember. After we already had the cinch and everything yesterday, so what do? I have to go back at him. I have to put pressure on him to make him hold still. And that's how this horse is. From one day to, I can get him all the way that way yesterday, but the next day, you almost have to start. You don't go back to the beginning. You go back about 3/4. So if you take 4 steps forward in a day, you take 3 back the next day, and then you take 4 back in 3 days. So every day you only gain 1 step out of 4. So now I'm going back to desensitizing him, getting ready with my good old go-to stick and bag, right? He's getting so tired of this, but he's not. He's going to see it for months because that's just what he needs. 'Cause I love how he stepped towards me, so I'm going to rub it away. Love how he's getting comfortable with me. He's not comfortable with the objects. He's not comfortable with anything. But you notice how comfortable he's getting with me. He wants to be with me. See, he wants to follow me. He wants to be my friend. All that jumping, I want to make sure the camera's there for you guys. Apologize, but now I'm going to rub it away, let him stand, go back to energy. So you're like, Bruce, he's not getting anywhere. He is, because he's getting so comfortable with me. Just because he's not comfortable with the stick and string, because he's not comfortable with the blankets, uh, he's come so far, but it's going to take time. So now I'm going to go back before the saddle again, get my blanket. Just follow the steps I did yesterday. First day he saw this blanket was yesterday, so we're going to slap him with it and reintroduce it to him. See if we can get him back to where he'll take uh, the saddle with full stirrups down and full cinch down. Oh, Bee Gees, Night Fever. Here we go. Rock out. Oh, I was a disco fan. Oh, I went to disco dances, the Star Palace, the discotheque. I was everywhere. We'd drag Maine in our cars. My brother had a Challenger I loved to drive, and we'd go down and drag Maine in Provo, Utah, and we would stay up late and drag Maine. We'd do so many things. I had Cole and Kirk, and we'd go. Uh, Kurt and would go disco dance and drag Maine all night. Uh, we were insane. We were nuts. Uh, we started causing so much trouble down there. They actually chained off Center Street in Provo for us and gave us 11 o'clock curfew and pulled a chain across so we'd quit racing and dragging Maine. Love those days. Love the disco days. Yeah, John Travolta when that came out. Yeah, we already been doing it. One day we let Cole off, and my brother and I we got bored on Main Street because there's no action, so we let Cole walk down the sidewalk, and Chuck pulled up on the curb in his Challenger, and we jumped out and pretended to beat him up because everybody was only dragging. Nobody could get out of their cars. Before we know it, every car was stopped, and we act like we're fighting. Before I know it, my brother and I were in trouble, and these big guys were going to take us on, and all of a sudden we hear this voice, and this girl's going, "Is that you, Chuck? Oh, that's Kurt." They knew us, otherwise we would have been in trouble, and de-escalated the whole thing. But from then on, we met everybody and just enjoyed each other. So we'd go and get out of our cars and quit dragging and burning gas. Then we got where we'd jump in cars. And so if a bunch of girls stopped at the stoplight, we'd jump in the back seat. Well, I couldn't drive yet. And one day, my brother, we were sitting there, and he jumped in the back seat of a car and took off, and I had to drive home, and didn't have a license. I always used his. Actually ended up marrying that gal, and she's a great gal. So that's how he met his wife, is dragging Main Street and jumping in a back car of a stranger. And I didn't see him for the next day. Anyway, got sidetracked. I can get sidetracked easy. Just telling him to relax. I can tell you so many dragging stories, it's crazy. We used to love to gag each other down there, and we have some good ones. Yeah, we pretended to hire some women of the evening one day, and that was an interesting night too. I can't tell all my stories; I'll get in trouble. Checking, seeing how it's going, see if he's starting to remember from yesterday. This is well, yesterday is the first day we got stirrups down and really got saddle sitting up there for him good. Take the saddle back off, relax, retreat. He's following me. I love that. See, he's really comfortable with me. Licks his lips there, relaxes, but when I come with the saddle, he's looking for that relief. I want him to look for that relief under saddle too, and that's my goal. He's getting really good that I am his relief point. He's really picked up on that. What I try to teach him is there's more relief points. A horse trailer, under saddle, tied up, Eventually, I want his relief point as me sitting on him and him just standing still. Grab the cinch, pull it up tight, pull and release, pull and release. There. Now I'm hooking it for the first time. I went some way. That's the first time he felt pressure on that cinch. You see him jump. I'm going to rub it away. I got it tight enough. I don't think saddle's going to fall off. So I'm just going to rub it away. Now he's feeling pressure on that front cinch. He hasn't felt that from me before. Now I'm pulling it tighter. I like to go in 3 stages. All the time I put a saddle on, I do 3 stages. Snug, tighter, and tight. That way they don't get cinchy. Now I'm going to go back for the back strap, or back cinch. I'm going to pull it, pull it. I'm going to go ahead and strap it, because I've already got the front one on. So now he's got, first time he's ever had a saddle actually on him. He's doing pretty good. I'm just letting him stand there with it a minute, relax, try to rub it away. I'm not getting in a hurry to move him yet. And now he's fully saddled for the first time ever. Now here's I snugging it up again, right? 3 times. Now I come back after he's had time to relax, exhale, see how loose the saddle was. Now I'm going to retreat. I see his ears spin back. He doesn't know what to think about this. He thinks I'm crazy. To him, he just got claustrophobic, right? Some mean monster's on his back eating him. But you notice he's not running back and forth. I've done this enough that he's not pacing up and down the fence and all excited like he has been. Now, he was doing it earlier, right? He's starting to think. So now we're going to undo the saddle, or undo the lead rope. This is where I like my 14-foot lead rope, and I want him to move his feet. Let's see how he does. This is the first movement ever with a saddle on. That was bad. See, he wanted to come to me. I don't want him to come to me yet. I want him to know that saddle's on there. He snorted at me. He's starting to figure this out. I want to drive him a little bit. Don't want to make him go crazy. So I got the lead rope, and I'm making him figure it out. He doesn't quite know how to get relief. He wants to come to me, but he doesn't want to come to me. He's like, what do you want here? I don't know. So I just want to keep his feet moving. I want those stirrups to be flapping. I want that movement. I want to drive him a little bit. And I thought for him, he did really good here. He's really trying to figure it out without going ballistic. And that's good and bad. That's good part is all those long days that I put in are paying off here, and he's not going too crazy. Now I'm going to change directions and make him think of 2 things at once, changing directions and having a saddle. But you notice he's just trotting. He's not too hot, but he is lancy. You wanted to stop there and see, how do I get relief from this, Bruce? Do I come to you? How do I get my relief? I just want to keep his feet moving. I don't want him thinking too much. So all that lunge work we put in, all that time with lunge work, this is where it pays off. I can control him. I don't want him to get in too much trouble. And I just let him get comfortable. Listen to CCR. A little bit of grapevine. Sorry about the wind. Live in Erda. The wind blows like crazy. I can't. Too much wind. Welcome to Erda. No, that's not me with gas either. You can blame it on that, but no, not this time. Now I changed directions. He's doing really well. I'll give him an A plus for his first lunging with a saddle on for the first time ever for him. This is incredible for him. See how he's slowing down, relaxing. He's not panicking. He's not fighting. Most people would stop here. I don't want to stop here, and there's a reason. Just like a lot of people will train their horses when they ride them to walk, and then they'll train them to trot. They never train them to lope, and all of a sudden when they go into lope, it's all of a sudden they buck and kick and go off. Uh, Everything you train under saddle, under movement, you got to go through walk, trot, and lope, because every one of those gears uses different brain. So I want him to get comfortable with me on his left side, with him on his right side. I want him to get comfortable with saddle a walk. I want him to get at a trot and a lope and a full out gallop, right? So I'm pleased with this, but I also know that I haven't asked him to really move out. So I'm going to rub it all the way and desensitize. Ask him to come in. Now here's my walk. Very good. Now all that circle driving you saw me do, here we go. This is where it pays off. He's antsy. He's not doing it as good as he normally does without a saddle because that's new. But I want to be able to walk him and lead him, yield his hindquarters, all that with the saddle, just like we do without a saddle, right? See him on this side, he's a little more antsy. He ran farther away from me. He's not quite sure being that close on this side. It's all new to him. Whatever you do to one side, do the other. Ask him to come in, rub it all away. That's really good for him. I'm asking him to go. I point. There he goes. Keep my belly button forward when I took off. He was a little slow to come, but he came. He's got a lot going on in his mind right now. Ask him to slow down. He slows down. Choose from different styles of listening at the top of your station on the My Station menu. Get just the songs and the artists you want to hear with artist only mode. Or you station. Come some more wind. No, they're not jets. Welcome to Erda. You ever heard of Erda? Now you've heard of Erda. You can buy you a shirt that says I've heard of Erda. Notice how I shorten my lead rope, I shorten my reload. I'm getting him where he's not anxious and under control. I look at his rear end, I shield his rear end, rub it away. Very good for him. Very good. I want to keep his feet moving as much as I can where he's not stopping and thinking about that saddle being on his back. Oh, government mules on. Love them. For him, first day of saddling, I'm really pleased. Still running through all the drills and all the exercises we do without saddle, right? Now I'm going to take it off because I know I haven't had him loping. And this is where it's going to be different. This is where when they start changing their mind, when they start running, those stirrups really get slapping. So I want to make sure. He's almost was too good. So I really want to make sure he understands that that saddle's on there. And now you see him start warming up. Now you see his brain not working as well. He slowed down there, so he started thinking for a minute. I'm going to ask him to change directions. He doesn't know how to change directions all of a sudden. Has no clue, like I've never round penned him. Turning the wrong way, I got to yell at him. He cannot think. There's just something different after they start eloping, how a horse brain will shut down if you haven't trained him. So to yield his rear end and make him keep going the right direction, I like that he knew he wasn't doing right, but he wasn't sure. But see, now he's turning the wrong direction again, so I got to get back after him. This is 101. This is where we started. And we got through all this, but just because that saddle's on there and he started running and is free now, he's having a hard time thinking. So I got to go back to walking up the fence like I did, ask him to turn. He went the wrong way. I got to go redirect him, and I'll let him get away with some of this because it's new, it's hot. I yell at him and he knew he was going the wrong way, but he's having a hard time at a high speed using his brain and having a saddle on at the same time. Wrong direction, so I got to cut him off. He knew it, he cut himself off, he knew he did wrong, so that's a good sign. But he just can't figure it out. Now, some horses, it just takes them a while when environment's new, when you're in a new location, when you're outside of the pen, you're out in the pasture. It's all new. I'm asking him to turn right. He doesn't want to. He's trying to understand. He's thinking. At least he's standing still. Rub it away. Let him go. Driving. That driving pressure is what gets him to start thinking, and where I can put driving pressure. Get that brain coming right. Oh, he thought about turning the wrong way. I yelled at him and he know. I know. Sorry, Bruce. I look at that rear end, trying to get his head turned the right way. Come up. At least he's holding still for me now. Now I'm going to push him in the right turn direction. I'm going to get on that side and push him. Yield that front quarters. He's not wanting to yield, and he's already knows how to yield, but he's not thinking yet, so I got to put some driving pressure. You see the whip going. I need some driving pressure. So crazy how he's doing so well before, just minutes and hours before I was running him. And now that he's free and moving, it changes the brain. So you got to hit every aspect of everything. Asking him to come, yelling at him, turning. Now he turned and driving. Ah, what a beautiful day, beautiful time. Working with a wonderful horse, listening to some tunes. I'm not feeling my back pain, my neck pain, my chest pain, my hip pain. My mind's on him. Point, send him, and there he turned. Beautiful. Now he's starting to think. Now he's stopping. I'm going to ask him, wrong direction again. I get after him. Really get after him because he knows better by now. I've let him get away with it for a little bit. Now I'm going to get a little more aggressive. Now he's looking for relief. Up, wrong way. He knew it. He knew it. He's trying to figure it out. That's a good sign. Up, wrong way. I'm going to get after him. That was too late. That was my bad. So just keep him going. If you make a mistake, just move on. There, he turned correct that time. Awesome. He knows how. Crazy. Just one saddle makes all that difference. There, he turned the right way. Ha! Beautiful. He's starting to think. See that? That's a good sign. Starting to figure it out. And that's why I had to get the lead rope off and put him through all this. You saw how well he behaved just with the lunge line. I like how he's slowing down now. He's starting to think. It's not all out run. I'm surprised actually he hasn't bucked and kicked like he normally does. Unfortunately, you'll see that coming up one of these days. He hasn't forgotten how. And you'll see what we started with. They always do. Gotta test you. So now I'm just going to let him figure it out and hold still. And what does he say? Oh, I'm going to turn on my own. Good job. So I'm going to drive him. If he would have came to me like he knows, I would have not pushed him away. But where he turned and went away, I drove him. But at least he was thinking. He knows if he comes to me for relief, he started, but then he went too far. So then I drove him away. But that was beautiful. That's what I'm after. I want him coming to me for that relief. I want him coming out and connecting with me for that relief, even under saddle. I love how he's slowing down, really thinking about wanting to come to me. He didn't, so I pushed him away again. He thought about it, but he didn't, so I pushed him away. I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask. Tell him to turn, and he went. Good job. Turned the wrong way there, so I'm going to recorrect. But he knew it. Let him figure it out. Really good for the first day for him under saddle. His bucking, kicking horse is really coming a long way and is really trying to get it. On a walk, turning, good job. Now he's changing direction. See how much better he's acting now? He's starting to think. That's what I'm after. And I could stop here. I mean, you could, once he starts doing it, I could stop here and come back up. But where he is taking so much time on everything, I put extra time in every night to really make sure that we can keep progress in a reasonable time. I don't want it to take 6 months to get him where I want. Reasonably, it's taken me 2 months to get him to mind me, to think of me now, and to get a saddle on him, which is quite a bit of time. You can generally do that sometimes in a week, but there you saw he didn't mind. He quit thinking, so I got after him. You really got to go at the speed of the horse. It's really up to you, up to your horse, and how it works. Afraid my music's too loud. YouTube's gonna make me edit it and you won't get any music on it when I put it up on YouTube. Louder the better for me. Yeah, I apologize to my neighbors. I know they don't like it. I'm sorry. When I used to drag Maine, we used to have these CBs, and we picked women up on CBs. We all put it on our channel down there, and we'd all sit there and talk to each other on the CB all night. Boy, you don't do that now. What do they use now? These fancy phones or something? Yeah, we used CBs back then. My handle was Slicky Dipstick. Yep. Keep your wheels a spinning, the girls a grinning, and lipstick off to the dipstick. Slippy Dipstick. I'm out. Yeah, I'll get in trouble for that one too. I let him turn the wrong way. I just being lazy here. I'm really after him to calm down all the way is all I'm after right now. I want him just to think it out. A lot of movement with the saddle being free. Does anybody know what a CB is anymore? I don't even think they know. Sad. Missed the good old days. We got out and did things. We didn't sit here and play on these games and computers in the house. So, just taking my time, relaxing, kicking back, letting him run out, letting him put the miles in. You want to get a horse good, put the miles in. Wet saddle. This is wet saddle time. If you ever heard of wet saddle time, this is wet saddle time at this stage. The wetter, the better. And this horse and I, we've had a lot of wet saddle days. Especially trying to get a halter on him. A lot of wet saddle days. He ran and ran until it got a good sweat build up so he could be calm enough so I could teach him how to halter. So just take the time and get your wet saddle going. You notice I don't have a blanket on yet. I haven't taught him to stand still long enough for a blanket and a saddle. I'm not worried about that. If I just keep moving on the saddle, eventually he'll figure it out, and then I can come out with a blanket and a saddle, and he'll stand still. There's no sense of just spending time on that. That'll correct itself as we keep working the saddle on and off and the blanket on and off and with time. When he gets absolutely comfortable with the saddle going on and off, then we can throw a blanket on and put the saddle on him. I'm not going to take time to try to teach that too early. That'll just come automatically. So have some patience, put the miles on him. Anybody that wants to bring a horse out for a day and just play with him with me, I'd be glad. Just come on out, give me a call, or give me a shot out at email elkhunterwilson.com. That's elkhunterwilson.com. Bring him out and we'll spend a day or two and work on something. I won't charge you. Just come on out because I just love horses. And I'm not in this for money. I'm in this because I enjoy it. Even my horses I have, I just enjoy them. I want to help you. I want to help others. I have people come out and they come out and ride cash. They just want to ride the Secretary of Blood. They don't have a horse. They love horses. And I give them a little pedigree chart that has Cash's pedigree on it. If you want one, you can have one. It goes back to Secretariat. Now you say, I put the lead rope on. I want to cool him down. So if you want to bring your horse out and work on an object or you have a sticky spot, bring him on out and let's see if we can correct it. Might take time, some of them do, because once these bad habits set in, they're harder to correct. I'm going to be honest. A horse that's been taught good habits right out of the chute is easier than a horse with bad habits. See, I'm trying to yield his rear end. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it, so he's going to fight me. That's all. He's been all hot with this saddle and running. So, and you notice he behaved better on the lunge line before he got a run. That's what you're going to run into. So I'm going to just keep looking at that rear end. I'm not going to let him give up. I'm going to make him lose. I'm going to cut it off with the whip behind my back, make him slow down, make him think. Okay, at least stop. That's a starting point. I'm going to rub it away. See if we can get him cool back down. Get him how he was before we let him loose off the lunge line, off the leader rope. I'm just going to lead him with the saddle, get him to cool down. Yeah, if you want to come out and ride Cash, do it. Now we're getting where I'm starting to work the stirrups. I want to spank the stirrups on both sides. He's been running with them today, so I'm going to get a stirrup and I'm going to slap it on one side, get him worked up, see how he's doing with the stirrups after today, so I can keep moving on. I'm going to flex him. Oh, he doesn't want to flex. See, I got the bridle on him now, so he's bridled and he's got a saddle first time today for both. So he doesn't want to flex because that saddle's there. So he doesn't want to flex. We've been working on bridle flexing forever. He's been doing good. But since that saddle's on there, it's a different point. So I got to go through the same drills, start all over again. So slide my hand down the rein, flex, bump, 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 hold, 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 till he gives, till I think he gives there, now let go. It's crazy. Every drill that he's got done, once you put a saddle on, it changes. So now he's doing really good with the stirrup slap on that side. Now I'm going to flexing on this side with the saddle. It doesn't want it. That saddle's too scary. Bump, 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 bump. There he gave. Nope, nope, I'm going to hold it. Nope. Gave a little bit. I let him have it. Slide my hand down the pull it. There's a better flex, so I let it go. Crazy how you change the environment. You change the gear on some of these horses. It changes everything. That was a good flex for him. Go back to slapping the stirrup. So now I just want to go through the same drills we've taught him on the ground fundamentals. You know, flexing, slap and stirrup, yield hindquarters, yield forequarters. Just keep working it. Just keep working it. And I went through all the drills. And now I'm just working on keep desensitizing him. For him, this last 2 days you saw here on the weekend was great for him. Sorry you only get kind of the weekend shots, but It's the same thing. I just have to do all week and stay with the same thing. Now I'm going to go crazy a little bit, put some energy in it. You see me dance. You've seen me do that in other videos. Want to see how he's doing with some energy. Now let's see how he's doing on a backup. See how ugly that is? Well, that's because he's got a saddle on. So give me a step, I'm going to rub it away. Here we go. Now it's a little bit better. Now I'm going to rub it away. See, the brain just thinks differently. So go through all your ground fundamentals. Yield the forequarters with the saddle and bridle on, because it's all different in his mind. That was really good for him. Really good for him with the saddle and the bridle on. So we flexed, we yield, work on a little bit of backup, rub it away, yield the other way. Remember, if we do it one way, got to do the other. I'm just trying to find out where his weakness, where he's going to give me a hard time with the saddle on and with the bridle on. Great milestone today for this horse. Really a great milestone. The next milestone is going to be getting on him, which is going to be a challenge because he is super hot. And that's unfortunately that's going to take some time. Now I'm going to go to yielding his head down. There we go. He's getting a little bit better at that. Grab the cheek piece with the bridle. That's better. That's better. That's good yield. For him, that's really good. I'm just holding it there. That's really good. For him, he's not fighting it as bad. He's getting it. Yield that head. There we go. That's really good. I love it. Hold it. Hold it. Perfect. Nice pose for you there. So for him, great day. Great milestones. Um, Check his feet. Like I said, I go through everything every day at the end of my wrapping things up. Don't show you all the time, but I just wanted to recheck everything with saddle and a bridle on. Got to rub the rim to stop because he's a little anxious. Me going to the rear end, just see that. So I'm going to rub it away. See if I can get to his back foot. See if I can lift his back foot. Getting a little bit sticky. There, he gave it to me. Good job. That's awesome for him. Just keep working on all those things you've been working on at the end of the day. Hope you enjoy the videos. Keep watching. Eventually, I hope to get on this thing and you'll see the troubles we have there. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Happy trails. Keep riding.